it's Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Thursday, July 29th. So today, the moon is in Aries all day. There are 9 different planetary aspects taking place today, and 6 of them are going to involve this moon. So we are coming out of what I would call a very high vibration from yesterday's energy. Now today, we kind of are losing a little bit of steam, which isn't a bad thing. We were revved up in all the right ways yesterday. However, some of us slipped, some of us reacted from our egoic avatar, and of course, might have created a little bit more drama than what we should have. Nonetheless, we're not going to sit in that. We're not going to try to, beat ourselves up over it. However, we are going to get a couple of reality checks here today that's going to help us stabilize some of the wildfire energy that got a little bit out of control here yesterday. So right out of the gate, the moon in Aries bumps into Saturn retrograde in Aquarius. This is a good energy, though. It is a sextile. And so it is really drawing from the positive, fired up, excitable, passionate energy that the moon in Aries always kind of gifts us. But Saturn in this particular position, of course, wants to remind us of the roles we have, of the responsibilities we have, whether or not we actually learned our lesson, whether or not we're getting ahead of ourselves. And basically, although this is a good aspect, it is a little bit of a sobering reality check to see where it is that we have to boss up. This is really going to show us where maybe we allowed things to get a little bit out of control the previous day, where it is that maybe we're reflecting back on the past, working very hard to rewrite the script, rewrite how it is that we see certain situations in the past. Why? Because we likely gave our power away in those situations, and we're all about bringing and calling that power back. So the moon bumping into Saturn, especially retrograde in Aquarius, this is still an inner journey, an inner transformation. This is a full acceptance and acknowledgement of where it is that, we have been playing small. We have been allowing other people in our external realms to get the best of us. And this is essentially recognizing where it is that we've allowed those situations to transpire and where it is that we are cutting that off from here on out. We are going to boss up. We are going to complete the roles and responsibilities that we've committed to. And if that means clearing some of them off of our plate in order to create a space for new roles and responsibilities to enter in, then so be it. The moon in Aries comes up to Chiron, who is retrograde in Aries. Fresh energy here. And this is a conjunction, meaning they're sitting beside each other on the bus, moving through the cosmos at this time, and they're going to have a little bit of a chat. And what they're talking about at this particular point in time is healing, is integrating. Now, you might be saying, okay, well, what are we healing from and what are we integrating? Well, we're healing from a lot. We had a very powerful week thus far with lots of highs, lots of lows, lots of aha moments, lots of realizations, and especially just coming from a conversation between the moon and Saturn where we had to boss up and really accept the roles and responsibilities that we have played in our own lives, allowing other people to get one over on us, allowing other people to have more of a say in our own lives than we do. Well, even acknowledging that is half of the battle. And so when we connect the dots, when we reflect back on the past and we have these aha moments, something shifts. Something shifts inside of us, something shifts in our heart space, in our mental space, and of course that affects the body and it affects the vibration and the frequency that we're putting out in our realms. So Chiron is here to remind us that we've done a whole hell of a lot of healing thus far. And then Chiron is talking about integration. Well, what does that mean? It means taking the time to actually see our actions, to see and feel the changes taking place within us and allowing that information to settle. You know how sometimes, somebody will come at you and dump a whole bunch of tea on you and there's a lot of gossip and there's a lot of details and you just need to sit in it. You have to simmer in it. Well, that is what integration is. And when we have these super intense life lessons, especially where, healing our ego, our identity is concerned, because that's what Chiron retrograde in Aries is all about. Well, we need to sit in that. We have to make sure that we're truly giving ourselves time to adjust to this new energy, to this new revelation, to this new perspective. It's almost an opportunity to celebrate ourselves just a little bit. So then we're going to cut the scene because Venus steps on stage. She is in Virgo. She was feeling pretty good yesterday, fired up from all of those other aspects and fire energies really boosting her positivity, her confidence, her morale. At the end of the day yesterday, she was ready to restructure, reorganize, and rewrite a couple of things in her routines and in her personal relationships. But now Venus in Virgo is squaring the true node. That square is a crisis point. It adds a tension in our mental plane, in our heart space. It makes us question things again. And of course, Venus being in Virgo is questioning a lot. This is where we are over analytical, where we are very highly critical of all the smaller details in life. And Venus in Virgo squaring the true node right now is putting a huge focus on love. Now, if you are in an existing relationship, this is what is going to be illuminated for you. If you are in relationships with friends, relatives, whatever the case may be, and you're feeling a lot of tension because you're not honoring yourself, you're not speaking up, you're not speaking your truth, you're recognizing now that they're sucking the life out of you instead of pouring into your cup, this is what is going to be illuminated. Now, Venus and Virgo squaring the true node. Again, the true node is the destiny point, where it is we want to be. Well, Venus and Virgo being as over analytical, highly critical as she is in this energy, she wants to look back. She wants to look at how we got in these situations, how we allowed some of the past situations in our relationships to take away our power, where we willingly gave our power away, where it is that we're holding on to these old energies, these old patterns, these old values. This is an inner struggle for us because we know that we can't get to where it is that we want to be in that new dream, in that new vision, by bringing the past, especially the emotional baggage, into quote unquote our future. So you're probably saying, okay, well, I'm not in a romantic relationship. Maybe you're not having any drama with your family or with your friends, which would absolutely shock me at this point. But let's just say that that is the case. There are a lot of single people right now struggling with the internal dialogue of wanting and needing intimacy and connection, and especially on a soul level, and being scared to death to open themselves up once again to somebody that could possibly harm them and destroy them like past relationships have done. So now we're looking at, okay, yes, this happened in my past. Yes, these situations unfolded in, a certain relationship that I allowed to happen to me. But does this mean that I'm saying that all people are going to treat me like this, that this scenario is going to repeat and happen again? This is what we're picking apart at this point. And a lot of this comes down to our own values, our own worth. Because again, we only enter into relationships, especially romantic relationships, that mirror back to us how it is we actually feel about ourselves. So if you are in a relationship that is unhealthy, that is very toxic, that is constantly beating you down, making you feel less than and worthless, you shouldn't ask why it is that they are treating you that way. You should be asking yourself, how come you feel that way about yourself? Because people in our lives are only mirroring back to us the vibration and the frequency of how it is that we feel about ourselves. And this is about self-love. This is about self-worth. And we have to take our cues right now from our exterior realm on how it is that we're actually treating ourselves. So this is going to be a big deal, and it's likely going to, like I said at the beginning of this forecast, it's going to take the wind out of our sails. This is a huge reality check, and sometimes we have to check ourselves. And Venus in Virgo, she's not messing around. She is so honed in on providing solutions to all of our problems, but first you have to know where the problem lies. And a good indicator is where it is that you're not happy, where it is that it's not healthy in your personal relationships. And then once you identify how it is that you are being treated or how you are feeling in those relationships, then you need to take a good look in the mirror, my friends, because it all starts with you. You've taught these people how to treat you based off of your vibration and your frequency. And a good starting point is, why don't you love yourself enough to treat yourself with the love and kindness that you pour into other people when they only treat you with the disrespect and the disregard that they do because you've allowed it. And that's a hard pill to swallow. And many of us aren't ready to swallow that pill. But just know you're going to be illuminated. There are hints and clues coming together. And if you choose to put your head in the sand, then you're only going to prolong this very, very tough love life lesson. However, the quicker you accept it, the quicker you analyze it, the quicker you pick these past patterns and behaviors apart, the quicker you can provide a solution, because that's what Venus and Virgo is all about. So we cut back to the moon. The moon in Aries, of course, goes ahead and bumps into Uranus. Uranus is that electricity, energy, that aha moment, that great awakener. And at this particular point, this particular aspect is meant to make us feel a little bit crazy, a little bit chaotic. We need to feel this state of confusion in order to figure out what the problem actually is. And after Venus and Virgo, creating all of this inner dialogue on where it is we have to analyze how it is we've been treating ourselves and therefore allowing other people to treat us, we have to feel a little bit overwhelmed. We have to feel consumed by the chaos in order for us to get to a point where we no longer want to feel this way. And that is when the solutions, the aha moments, the bigger picture seems to actually appear. There is always a reason of why it is we have to feel down, why it is that we have to feel like we are having a breakdown, we are, overwhelmed in our mental plane. There's always a reason why that has to happen, and it's building us up for a breakthrough. So anytime that you're feeling that downward spiral, that chaotic feeling, that overwhelmingness, you have to say, okay, what is this trying to teach me? Because nothing is happening to you, it's happening for you. And once you understand that things don't happen to you, that they happen for you, you'll be able to say very quickly in the process of feeling overwhelmed and kind of chaotic, okay, what is this trying to teach me? So the moon goes ahead and bumps into Mars in Leo. This is a caution, because from the energy that we're coming from, which is chaotic, which is overwhelming, which is highly critical, which is a little bit of a Debbie Downer, this is going to make us a little bit impulsive. This is going to fire us up, make us very passionate. And again, it could come out in a positive way or it could come out in a negative way. And that is going to depend on the emotional control that you have over yourself. We have to remember here that Mars is wrapping up his life lessons in Leo. He's going to be shifting into Virgo energy by the end of the day, which means that Mars is at a critical degree, 29th degree in Leo, putting the volume all the way up, intensifying every single characteristic, every single life lesson that Mars in Leo was meant to teach us. So with all of the lower vibes kind of building up to this very fiery point of expression, I want you to think before you act, especially if you're feeling the impulse, the desire, the urgency to speak up, to take action, to make moves, because it's likely not what you should be doing. This energy is a little bit volatile, a little bit unpredictable, if you will. And if you are reacting out of ego instead of acting as the observer, stepping outside, detaching from your situation, from your emotions, from your mental plane to see the bigger, greater, grander picture of this life lesson, then you are likely going to create a little bit of drama that you are going to have to go back and clean up. And I would advise you to not do that. However, it depends on, again, the control, the discipline that you have over your energy, over your vibration, and of course, how it is that you're going to allow that to manifest. Now, the moon in Aries goes ahead and bumps into Jupiter, now in Aquarius. Still retrograde, but now in Aquarian energy. This is actually the first aspect that Jupiter is making back into Aquarian energy. And as you know, Jupiter is the great magnifier. He turns the volume up all the way on whatever it is that we're currently feeling. And as you may have guessed, the feels are a little bit confusing, a little bit intense, a little bit unpredictable at this particular point. This can really put us in a situation where we're too much, where we're a little bit too extra. Our feelings are super intensified at this point. If you have the discipline in order to detach from them, to act as the observer, you're going to be all right, because you're going to see that it's not okay to act on these impulses, not okay to act on these urgent needs and desires to take action and make moves. And you might, get out of it all right. However, the majority of us are acting out of fear right now and uncertainty. Why? Because we're in a brand new chapter, a brand new cycle. It's unfamiliar. We don't know what to expect. We're in brand new territory that we're still trying to, get a feel for. And any time that you are unstable, acting out of fear and uncertainty, that creates a perfect storm for lashing out, for projecting feelings, for taking action and making a mess of things, especially where drama is concerned. We do not want to add to the drama at this particular point. So the good thing is that the moon in Aries goes ahead and bumps into Venus in Virgo. This is going to help calm the flames down just a tad. Venus in Virgo, of course, in Earth sign. This is going to ground us out. This is going to help us to settle down. This is going to help us put our emotions in check, rearrange our mental plane, how it is that we're thinking, how it is that we're feeling, how it is that we are going to act. Hopefully, this particular aspect will kick in before we have a chance to go ahead and lash out and project our feelings onto others and speak out of turn and create that drama that I talked about. However, if you do get a little bit carried away and you do tend to add more fuel to the fire, Venus and Virgo is going to help bring you down, help ground you out, center you out, see, what took place and how it is that you're going to fix it. Again, Venus and Virgo has no problem dealing with problems and challenges and obstacles and thrives in breaking things down and figuring out how it is that we're going to come up with some creative solutions on how to actually fix some of these problems. So Mars in Leo sits across from Jupiter, retrograde in Aquarius. This is the very last aspect that Mars in Leo will be making before shifting into Virgo energy. Now, you have to just bear with me here. Mars is at the end of his rope in Leo, the 29th degree. Volume is all the way up. Fire is absolutely raging at this point. And because Mars rules over our physical energy, our action, our passions, our desires, even our anger, sitting across from the table from Jupiter that just wants to turn the volume up and put the magnifying glass on that particular energy, we are going to feel the need to manifest our beautiful reality now. We are going to feel the need to take action now. We are going to feel that we are so aligned with our vision for the future that there's no need to wait, that we should act now. Now, should we act now? Nope, probably not. But we're going to feel fired up. We're going to feel so passionate about our new calling, about our new purpose, about our new desires to be living in a different reality, that we don't have patience. We don't have discipline. We don't even have the vision at this point on how, if we act on impulse, it's going to create a mess for ourselves. And just in that moment, hopefully before things get messy, Mars is going to go ahead and move into Virgo, and this is going to bring us back down to earth. I'm going to tell you, physically, it's going to feel like you hit a brick wall, like you've been running a marathon and then all of a sudden you hit a brick wall. Mars is not happy in Virgo because Mars is a fire sign, wants to just blaze through problems, obstacles, just wants to take action, get from point A to point B. You can't do that in Virgo. Virgo is an earth energy. We have to think practically, think logically. We have to focus in on the details. We have to assert ourselves only when it makes sense to do so. This is really going to kind of give you an analogy here. If the campfire is just ablazing, which it has been for the last 2 days, Mars moving into Virgo is the one that comes and throws a bucket of water on the fire and starts shoveling dirt on top of the fire to put it out. The party is over. And basically, we become a little bit quiet. We have to restrain ourselves, which Mars absolutely does not enjoy. We have to be cautious. We have to think about everything. We have to be strategic. We have to be calculated in the plans that we are looking to actually take action on. And, it's really not going to feel nice. I do recommend that you go ahead and listen to July's energy forecast when Mars actually moves into Virgo so that you can get a full spectrum picture on what this energy is going to bring to us. But basically, we can't just go willy-nilly anymore. Mars in Leo was very bold, very brave, just point A to point B, think about it later. No, Mars in Virgo needs to focus in on the problems, on the details, coming up with calculated and strategic moves to be made because we're not about to act a fool. We're not about to act first and suffer the consequences later. Virgo energy, again, is an earth energy, but ruled over by Mercury. This is the mental plane working very hard to sort everything out before we go ahead and actually use our physical bodies to take action and to make things happen. So as you can kind of tell, it's going to be a very temperamental day. And then, of course, as we are heading to bed, we are going to feel that sudden shift in energy, bringing us down, making us more focused on our physical realms, on our physical action, on kind of coming up with some very strategic plans on how it is that we're not only going to solve the problems that we are facing, but how it is that we are going to put together a plan on how it is we're going to get from point A to point B.